Okay, hi, good afternoon, all of you. I hope you guys had a good tea break because just before the tea break, I was seeing some fainting faces, you know. So I had to change my strategy here slightly because I had thought to introduce you guys with good morning and good afternoon for all the sleeping faces. But after the tea, I see that, most of the eyes are open now. Okay. So welcome all of you. All right, though this is the last panel, so good. Immediately after this, we'll collect our awards and we'll just rush home. Okay, so that's the good part. Okay. All right. So as you mentioned, very important, the last but not the least, very important session for today, the CMO Tech Partnership, how marketing leaders can drive digital transformation, right? And this is very much in sync with what we have been discussing since today morning. We have been discussing about human intelligence, artificial intelligence. We have been discussing about the tech interventions at different areas of marketing, different area of sales and stuff like that, right? Now, very important thing as marketing leader, I've been into the industry for almost like 20 years. And today the marketing leaders are expected to be everything, right? So they are expected to be storytellers to start with. At the same time, they need to be strategists, they need to be narrators, they need to be orchestrators of customer experience. And to top it all, they have to play all the roles all at the same time. Therefore, the synergy between marketing and technology becomes extremely critical, and this is what we have been discussing, right? Now, I'll cite a joke. This is a typical marketing leadership joke. If you ask a marketing leader, how does your day start and how does it end? Generally, he will say that his day starts with a creative review, and it would generally end up with our data management review or a data review, right? Effectively, what it means is, it means the oscillation between the two extremities, creativity and the code, right? So a marketing leader is supposed to wear both the hats. He has to be creative, he has to be good with the code. Code means technology here, not the actual code that we are talking about, right? And this is precisely what we're going to discuss in this panel, right? So we have with us three exceptional leaders who represent this intersection well, all right? So I'll start with Sujata. Sujata, quick round of introduction from your end.
Thanks and nice to be here. Hello everyone. I'm Sujata. I lead the global marketing campaigns for Gen AI, cloud, data, cybersecurity, all technology for Oran Innovation. Oran Innovation is a digital transformation service provider based out of New Jersey. And I have been, in this industry for around 18 years now, working with technology, marketing, creativity. My technology has been my passion. That's why I'm in marketing in the IT services industry. I lead global teams who take care of demand gen. We also work on brand visibility through AR programs and PR programs. That's all about me.
Gaurav, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Gaurav Thakur here from Quality Kiosk. So I handle growth, large and strategic deals for Quality Kiosk. So I work across 27, 28 countries with my teams, which are quite widespread. I work across industries. In my past avatars, I have handled the role of a CMO. I have headed marketing for a full service digital agency. I have headed marketing for IT organizations. And it has always been B2B with a smattering of B2C experience as well with brands like ITC. So that's about me. Looking forward to sharing our thoughts with you and hearing all of your questions and deliberations.
Thank you. So my name is Somideep. I lead the marketing for infrastructure solutions business at NTT Data. NTT Data is a $30 billion conglomerate in the IT services space. And I've got 2 decades of experience working across for leading companies like Adobe, Wipro, or Dell, and NTT Data. Thank you.
Thank you, panel members. Now we move on to the next segment. So there'll be one question for each of the panel members. So the first question, Sujata, this is for you. Tech firms increasingly prioritize demand generation. We have been talking about demand generation since morning today, right? How do you strike the right balance between short-term pipeline goals and long-term brand building in a digital-first environment?
Okay, very interesting. And I'm sure all of us face this challenge, right? What to prioritize, brand building or demand gen, right? And we have been struggling on that as well. But I think we have come to a good point now where we have a framework on how to balance both. And I think balance is the key word here. We have to ensure that both brand building and demand gens are balanced. So at Orion, what we have started doing is, we are trying to build a brand that creates demand. And this is not just a brand which sits on the website, right? It's a brand that creates value. So when we double down on, Gen AI, cloud, data, we realize that we need to be a thought leader in this space. So we started doing a lot of activities in our AR program and PR program to ensure that we have a voice in this space. And during one of our, large deal pursuits, one of the client mentioned it to us, that we shortlisted you because we kept on hearing a lot about Orion in in AR reports and also in opinion pieces, and that's when it clicked to all of us and the leaders that brand is important and brand is opening doors for us. So it's not just that we need to focus on the demand gen, we have to also focus on the brand building aspect of it, and both needs to go hand in hand, and clear focus needs to be provided on both of them. So I think that's what we've been doing, building brand through various programs, but also ensuring that it acts as a opener for our demand gen activities.
Very well said, Sujata. So the key takeaway is you have to strike the right balance between the short-term goals and the long-term goals,
Yes, that's
right?
right. And if I may also add, brand has been creating value for our demand gen program. Demand is also validating the value of our brand. So we have to look at it both the ways.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, Gaurav, this question is for you. Let's talk about the data unification challenge, one of your favorite topics, okay? So, what is the single biggest organizational or technical hurdle your partnership faced in unifying customer data, right? And what specific governance structure did you put in place to ensure data quality and its ethical use?
Very, very good question. So even before GDPR,
No, it's working.
okay, it's not the speaker, okay. Perfect. So even before GDPR, the double opt-in was always a best practice. Now what has happened, and I think this was discussed in the previous sessions as well, there has been a very complicated challenge for the performance marketeer to sit at the revenue table between the CFO and the CEO and make a case for a bigger and better budget. To get that bigger and better budget to do bigger things, campaigns, events, activities, what have you, they have to prove the attribution. Where did my money go and did I get some bang for the marketing buck spent? To that effect, the challenge that most of us face is from an attribution point of view. What model to use? What variables to play with? Is it the content that's working? Is it the event that's working? Do I use first touch, last touch? There are n number of variables here. We need to figure out what works best for us. I'm in the B2B space. So I'm selling or I'm marketing to a panel. It is not an individual. A typical B2B buy, like what was discussed, is to around 8 to 15 people, depending on the complexity of the deal. Now, keeping that in mind, am I targeting the right personas, right from the CIO, the CDO, to the operations head, to the infra head, to the security head, and to the procurement, and maybe their teams? So the persona is not only the department, but various people in the department. Is my content geared to address each of their individual needs as per their buying process? The number of banks, if I'm selling to a bank, somebody here is running a payment shop. If he is selling to banks in any geography, number of banks are limited. Either you will win at that bank or you will lose. If you lose a deal, you will only go back after a couple of years. To keep that in mind, You cannot have one set of customer buying journey. It has to be customized for that particular account. So account-based marketing plays a very important role. Now, in everything that I've said, imagine the amount of data, market intelligence, on ground intelligence that you would need, and referring to the previous session, understanding the buyer's mindset, the politics, the KPIs of those individual 8 to 15 people, and how do I address it. That data becomes very critical. For us, the center point of this data is our CRM. That is where we know what conversations are happening, what are the opportunities, how are they moving, what is my market intelligence, who's talking to the analysts, what are the analysts thinking. So a collaboration between marketing and sales is also very important, because I am not just getting information at a micro or account level, I am gathering market data as well. For regulated industries like insurance, telecom, banking, healthcare, what is the regulator thinking? Do I understand the changes a regulator will do in the next 3 quarters so that my value proposition is in line to those changes? So data becomes key, both internal, intrinsic to my organization, and the surrounding ecosystem. That's the play here.
Very well said. Okay. How about the ethical use? How will you ensure, whatever data that is being produced is put in the right direction, is put in the right place?
So data that is gathered from customers, it could be, I'll give you an example. Something as simple as an email campaign has a double opt-in. Something as simple as a gated content, which could be a white paper or what have you, would have an option if they even want to be contacted. They have freely given you the information. That does not mean I have the right to contact them. What we are seeing now in India, we used to run it in my previous organization, Position Square. We used to run zip code level campaigns. So I can name the client. It was Choose Energy. So by zip code, I can give you an offer between, say, a Tata or a Reliance Power, and every month you can switch based on which offer you like. So zip code level campaign targeted to certain key streets where I want my customer base to increase. So we have that kind of data available. How we use it, whether it is named or whether it's anonymous, it is just the metric that I'm using, or it is very targeted, would depend on the opt-in. So consent is key. No means no.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gaurav. Okay, Soumyadeep, let's talk about AI again. We have been talking about AI since morning today. So AI is not only transforming industries, it has also transformed marketing as a function, right? So how should organizations plan for implementing AI, right, in marketing, and how is your organization approaching it?
Sure, Mohit. So when we start thinking about AI in marketing, it is most important that we first determine what is the objective. Is the object generally most of the leaders what we have seen start with the productivity objective, an efficiency objective. I think it is important that we go beyond typical productivity cost efficiency objectives to also look at use cases that elevates customer engagement, which obviously then drives the business growth per se. In that, once you identify the objectives, I think the next step in the process is to determine the right use cases. Which are the use cases on which you're going to put your money in, so that you invest in the people, process, and technology aspect of it. The way I see AI evolve, I am seeing it as a 3-stage journey of adoption. I see organizations who are at a stage 1, who are implementing AI as a tool, maybe just investing on one technology to look at augmenting their AI capabilities. The second maturity stage, what I see is when you use AI as an teammate. That's where the AI starts handling complex assignments, where, for example, you can build agents which can do multiple tasks. For example, it could be an reporting agent that you build which needs to work across multiple data sources, effectively like a human takes on that. The third stage, which I've seen very less organizations have achieved, is AI as a, I would say, influencer in your decisions in that. So in our company where we are in the stage 2, where we are building AI agent. We obviously implemented AI tools and stuff as well, but we are in the second phase where we are implementing AI agents. What we are doing is we have partnered with our agentic AI team within the organization, and we have also partnered with Microsoft. Together we have identified, we have brainstormed within the marketing leadership team, identifying set of use cases on which we want to build on AI agents per se. And for us, the objective that we have set is obviously everything, whatever we has to be linked to certain goals and stuff. So we have started off. We have taken a target that by next couple of years, our efficiency gain, productivity gain has to be upwards of 50%. Plus, it should also help us free up the bandwidth of people so that they can focus on the strategic projects and stuff. And it's easy to say. I think the most important, and likely talking about the theme of the session, the partnership with the IT team is the most crucial. You might think of greatest of AI technologies per se, but if your IT is not supporting in terms of implementing it, connecting it to doing integration with SFDC and stuff, it can be with the silo, AI doesn't work. With right set of data, AI will only work. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Samadip. So two key things coming out of this: the right set of data and the right kind of partnership. You cannot afford to go silo, as simple as that. So I think this is very true. All right, so moving on to the next segment. So next segment is about the CMO tech partnership, right? One set of questions for each of the panelists. I'll start from Sujata. The changing role of the CMO, okay? The CMO today is also a revenue partner, right? How have you strengthened the marketing sales partnerships, right? To accelerate pipeline, improve account penetration, and, get into winning deals?
Yeah, I think the role of CMO is changing. And as you rightly mentioned, they are more of a revenue partner now. So, so CMO is not only, focused on storytelling, on KPIs, data. They are becoming transformation leaders. They have a seat at the table to make decisions, which are business decisions, which are impacting the revenue growth. At Orion, if you see, we have created a growth team, which is a mix of sales, delivery, marketing, and also deals enablement, a new team that we have which helps in the RFP process and everything. So we are a team who work together for the entire pipeline journey. So we track all the pipelines that we have, and when we get opportunities or when we move into the RFP process, we work together on those deals. So it's no longer just a sales or a delivery function that's involved in that. It's the marketing function also which is driving the storytelling, the narrative of the deal strategy. So I think that has created a lot of impact because the storytelling is crisp to the point what the customer expects. So we have seen a lot of shift in the win ratio after this collaboration with the sales, the delivery, and the team. So we work as a team together on all these big RFP projects. Another thing to mention, I think you mentioned about ABM. The way we look at ABM is not just a campaign, it's a relationship strategy. So we work together, we as marketing team, we give inputs to the sales on the competitive intelligence, on the pricing.
Business model is a product, a very, very tech-centric product, which is doing wonders in the niche that they have created it for. Will they need a lot of sales and marketing? No. Because their target audience is very small. They know who they have to go pitch to, sell to, and close. So it depends on your business model, like cabbage.com or carrot.com. Their business model was use performance marketing to grow and find people that I can lend to, short-term lending, for a couple of weeks, individuals or SMEs. they had a zero sales touch kind of a model. So depending on the business model, the value of the sales or the business development person will change. In the B2B context, when I go out there in the field with my team, are we replaceable? No. Why? Because we are not selling to one person. We are selling an idea, a concept, a value realization to a panel of 8 to 15 people. Can AI replace me right now? No. Can it replace me in the next 10 years? We'll find out.
And also, adding to what Gaurav said, I think it's also function of the complexity of the product. If the product is complex, which requires definitely a specialist team to handle it. Rightly mentioned, it's a function of whom you're talking to. If it's like individual, if for example, if it's like Adobe, if it has to sell in Creative Cloud to an individual, okay, it can be, it doesn't require any specialist. But if the same product has to be sold at an enterprise level, that means it has a different complexity in terms of IT integration and stuff, building consensus. So it depends the context and everything. Yes, sales will be much more AI powered, enhanced. So there, I think the way I see it is in future, sales will be able to have a lot more contextual conversation with AI in their hands.
Thank you, sir. All right, so thank you so much. Thank you to the lovely panelists.